Tyler, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
What, how would you, over 5 games, how would you rate or assess your adaptation to Wayne's instruction for a goalkeeper in this system?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the 5 games, it's been good. I think there's always room for improvements on the little nuances of the system, and so a lot of it now is getting it into the rhythm of everything, and also building the chemistry with the players that we have, because we've kind of had, like, I think 5 different back lines, and trying to build that consistency and that chemistry, and really find what works and what gels with the team. And so dealing with that, I think that overall, like, we're not happy with kind of the amount of goals that we've been giving up. We're averaging 2 goals a game against, and which is just not good enough. It's not going to be sustainable throughout 34 matches, and so that's definitely something that we're focusing on a lot, and really trying to sharpen up our defensive compatibility.
What's your comfort level with his instruction to you specifically, being aggressive, coming out, launching attacks, and all?
I enjoy it. I think that's one of the most exciting parts of my game, and my ability to anticipate how the other team is playing, and read the through balls, and come out and cut off chances before they even develop is something that I think that is underrated. It goes unnoticed a lot of times, but I think it plays a huge part in the momentum, because if the other team is seeing me be aggressive and knowing they can't play balls as easily in behind because I'm going to be there, then all of a sudden they have to go around and play a different style. So for me, it's something that I've always embraced and always liked to play that style. So thankfully I'm with Wayne, and he embraces that way of playing as well.
You had that one exciting moment in the second half the other night. What's the decision making like in a situation like that?
I knew exactly what I was doing. No, it's an instant decision. I mean, sometimes you make that decision and you're right and it works out, and sometimes you make the decision and it doesn't work out. But I think the biggest thing is being aggressive, and when you make a decision, you stick with it. And so in that moment, I stuck with my decision, and it worked out. And so getting caught in no man's land, I think, is not a place you want to be. And when you play an aggressive style, you kind of get forced into situations, but it's having that ability to recognize, okay, this is a moment where I do need to go, or this is a moment where I allow my defenders to deal with it. So it's comes from playing games, and only 5 games in, so I imagine that we'll just keep going and keep working on it.
We'll throw it to Zoom now, Sam.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey.
I'll throw it over to Dave Johnson first. Go ahead.
Tyler, can you just talk about that? How mentally exhilarating it must be to play this style of goalkeeper, because there's not a moment where you can switch off, and I was going to use the term mentally exhausting, but it's probably mentally thrilling, or how would you describe it from a mental standpoint?
No, it is. It's exciting. Every game, I mean, you go into knowing that you're going to have at least one moment where you're going to have to make a decision that could result in you clearing a ball, or could result in a goal for the opposition. But I mean, that's part of the game, and that's part of the style that we embrace. It's like when I grew up, I watched a lot of Manuel Neuer, and you see a lot of his unorthodox, almost unhinged type of goalkeeping. But that's the style that I actually like playing the most, because it keeps you in aggressive mode, like, for all 90 minutes, and your defenders know that they can play a little bit more aggressive. They can play a higher line because they know that I'm there to help sweep up. And so, it keeps me engaged. There's no moment where you're not really reading situations, because at any moment you could kind of be called into action. So that, for me, is one of the most exciting parts of our system.
So then, do you like other thrills like hang gliding and downhill skiing? Because it seems like you're embracing being put under that kind of pressure. Is that part of your personality?
You know, I have enjoyed some of those thrills in the past, but I don't think my wife would let me do them anymore. So, with our daughter being 6 months, I think she wants me to be a little bit more less thrill seeking, but I definitely enjoy it when I come to work and get to do it on every weekend.
Awesome. Next, we'll go to Bruce Murray.
Hey, Tyler, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. What's the vibe in the locker room? I mean, we're all watching good football being played, plenty of chances being made, and then the letdown at the end. Like, what's the locker room like right now? Are they feeling like me? I'm watching, going, this team's going to explode sooner or later on a big game, go on a run, something. Is that where you're at right now?
We definitely feel optimistic, and we feel that we have a very talented squad, and there's a lot of potential. But it's just putting the pieces together. Through 5 games, I think there's games that maybe the first game we shouldn't have won, but we did. And there's games that we should have won that we didn't. And so I think in football, often things tend to even themselves out. And so I think that if we continue to commit to this system and don't panic, that over the course of the next 29 games, you'll start to see our true potential kind of come to fruition. And for us as a group, everybody's positive. Everybody has confidence going into each weekend. And so now it's just taking the confidence and really putting it to practice and making sure that for the full 90 minutes that we're locked in when it comes to our game against Chicago. I mean, because they're a quality side, and we know that we have the potential to do big things this year. But it's about applicating and doing those things on the weekend when it matters the most.
Great. Thanks, Tyler.
Well, back to Dave.
And just a quick one, Tyler. I always like to get a goalkeeper's perspective, because we're viewing the game from the sideline, but you're getting a totally different view. So from your vantage point, is anything that you're seeing? If we played this ball earlier, we'd be more successful. Or just, is there anything you're seeing that from your vantage point that maybe we're not seeing from our vantage point?
Yeah, I mean, the goalkeeper's perspective on the game is a very unique perspective in terms of nobody is behind us, and we have the opportunity for the whole game to see the entire field. I think it's just a matter of the chemistry and putting things together. This group is still kind of fresh and new, and we've only had, if you include preseason, maybe like 9 games of truly getting to play together. And so it's something that over the course of the season I think will take shape. But sometimes, like early on in seasons, it just takes a little bit of time. And so I think we're in that stage right now where we just need to really buckle down and bear with the group that we have and truly believe in what we're doing and what Wayne is asking us to do. And the group does. So it just needs a little bit more time. But I think that soon, once we start to lock down a few other things and a few other pieces, that then we'll really see this full potential come to what we are actually capable of.